Some fun. So I'm going to be playing Minecraft and doing like playing around with the server mod that I installed that lets me run Clojure in a REPL to control the environment directly. It's going to be a short stream for me today because I've got Father's Day related activities to get to in a bit. But I thought it'd still be fun to just play around for a little while. Get something, do a little bit of something every day. So without further ado, I've got my little environment set up here. Oops. Let's pop back into Minecraft here. So I actually did this last Sunday a little bit for a while too. And I've been messing around with, so I'm in just creative mode here. And I've got a REPL open here. Oh, geez. Let me do this. There we go. So I have my game here. I have the server running here. There's nothing really to see behind my face cam anyway, so it's a fine spot to put it, I think. And here I've got my REPL where I can do commands and get results out of that. So if I do .get x, for example, of get location player, it gives me a value, an x position value for my player, and it will change based on my player position change. So I was at 22 before and I'm at 29 now. But I can use that to make different functions here. So from last time I also cleaned up my environment a little bit here. I wrote down some setup steps for myself. Server startup command. The namespace is in here, and the core and events are all there. So this is a work in progress. I'm just exploring as I go, of course, but now I can document things a little more effectively. So if I actually split this for a minute, also create a silent UI sync to keep the REPL from So that's just the whole idea. I'm gonna mess around with functions, write them here, save them into a file, and just test them and run them here. So I have this block function where I can put blocks near myself as a player. I can do obsidian like that. But what I want to do is, well, first of all, let me try to erase this whole thing here with the little erase function. Erase there we go. So what I mean, so see this, the REPL's all full with nil prints, which is not what I want. So actually I'm gonna try let me first have a look at this function here, this floor function, see if I can make it I want to have it print as little as possible into my REPL because is annoying when it fills up all that, when it fills up like that. So let me see here. I'm going to try something. I'm going to do map apply block to, oh, let me see here. Oh, that's fine. Apply block to this list of things for 3 blocks. So we've got, let's do 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Wool. We'll just do wool blocks. Why not? Wool. Wool. Okay. So that printed 3 nils. But if I do it like this, if I do that and then nil, it's just 1 nil. But it also didn't. Okay. Let's see here. Floor. So if I do floor 3 by 3 wool, it makes a 3 by 3 wool floor, which is fine. Let's just get rid of that. Just out of curiosity, I want to change the color of it. That's cool. Okay, so so if I wrap that in a do, it doesn't do it. Let me try one more thing here. Do. And then no. Let's try that again. No. It does not do the thing that I want it to do. Okay, well. Clojure do. Let's see also. Nothing else. Is do each, or is there do? What else is there? Do to. That's not it. Do all. When lazy sequences are produced, try that. Do all. I'll get there eventually. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's exactly what I need. Okay, so what I've just done there is, so if I wrap this for loop in a do all and then provide a nil as the last value here, that'll just prevent my REPL from printing out a whole bunch of data, which is really quite handy. It should mean I can do this. So now the delay of building this into the game itself is from, it's not polluting my REPL full of data that I don't want to be printed there. So that's good. That's a step up from what I had going last time. I'm curious now if I, oops, that's my bad. Let's see how well my erase function works if I change it. Okay, erase. Do all for nil. So now if I erase by 3032, that's a lot faster, which is really nice. There we go. Cool. Okay, that's a big, I call that a bit of a win. Sweet. Hello, horse. Huh, that's fun. Okay, I'm getting myself sidetracked. So, hey Lumi, how are you? Hope you're doing well today. What am I making? I actually will clarify. Are you asking what am I making in Minecraft or what am I making with my code? The real answer is right now it's a casual Sunday in Minecraft. Yeah, nothing crazy in Minecraft today. I have so I don't know. I have I'm writing code that produces output in Minecraft, so I'm in the middle of just learning it because I don't know exactly how to do it all. Always nice to see another Clojure user. Yeah, thank you. But so I'm not making anything crazy right now. I'm just learning this plugin basically. CLJ Minecraft was the plugin I found here. Commander Dats, CLJ Minecraft. And I'm learning it. The idea is if I can make a function that builds a house for me, that'd be a good starting place. And then from there, I don't know, just see what I can come up with, you know? So I can do, like I have a function there that builds a floor for me, right? So yeah, nothing super creative today, but it's just kind of fun to poke around and learn it, you know? See how it's going. What do you use Clojure for usually? Because I really happen to love it as a language. But yeah, it's a little less common, so you're right, it's always nice to see new users. or other users, I should say. Oh, it didn't. There. Yeah. Huh, okay, so one thing that, let's see. What do I want to actually do? Oops, that's the wrong button. Doesn't matter, there we go. You use it professionally for web and business app development and for mobile apps as well. Well, that's cool. Are you using, for mobile apps, are you using like a React Native thing or something like that? But also a lot for personal stuff, occasional data science, DB management. Basically your go-to, yeah, React Native, okay. So you're actually using Clojure for stuff that people usually use for shell scripts in Python, eh? So that's a little bit fascinating to me, because now I'm not dumping on that. I think it's great, and I try to do the same. But I hear all the time people talking about slow startups and whatnot for the JVM, and it's not suitable for scripting. But so it's just surprising to hear it. I think there are plenty of ways to make it work really well. Yeah, just simply never restart. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. This is a digression for a moment, but have you heard of, on that note, actually, I've got, have you heard of Lumo? It's a Clojure script REPL directly, and I sometimes find that writing Clojure script things directly and just running it in Lumo is a nice, quick scripting method. Yeah, Plank is also Plank. I think it existed before Lumo a little bit, but Lumo's the one that I've been using lately. Anyway, bit of a digression. It's not like I'm doing anything critically important today, though, so it's all good. Oh, excuse me. There's macro incompatibility problems since they're self-hosted Clojure script. A lot of libraries don't work. Yeah, that's a good point. Truth be told, I've only used it for if I had a little utility or a one-off thing that I wanted to just do using only Clojure core functionality. Just small scripts. Then it works quite nicely, right? But yeah, there's always a little hiccup here and there, right? Let's see if I can put a little structure around this here. Player and utils or something like that. Let's see. Can I build a house? There we go. I like the org mode literate programming style. Yeah, do you use it yourself or not so much? I totally love it. I love it for stuff like this, especially as I'm building up, like in a case like this where I don't know anything about the library or the plugin. I'm just experimenting. It's really nice to just, throw a new thing in there, and then later on move it around, right? Like I love doing this. if I could use the right buttons, you know, want to pop it way up there, lower it, delete it entirely, that sort of thing. I love it. It's really handy. You used to for some other stuff. You don't use it now though? Yeah, so I do love it, but it's not without its problems, right? Like, it definitely confuses other people because it's a little less common. I find tangling into its own source files can be a little bit confusing and annoying from time to time, but the benefits outweigh the costs in my own workflow. Yeah, some of your Emacs config is in it. That's actually where I first saw other people using it, and I thought it was cool enough to try and put into Clojure, my Clojure workflow. Yeah, I really happen to like it quite a bit. I have independent, so this is where I'm working with the Minecraft code stuff here, but I have open on the side here just little like a notes file for things that I always mess up or forget a lot, and then I'm gonna turn into blog posts and stuff like that. So like recursion, it's something that like you should really know and be pretty good at, but I always confuse myself and mess it up, so I just put it in a notes file here and just have little snippets and stuff like that. Again, I'm digressing from the Minecraft, but I find it to be overall a really useful approach. Yeah, you used functional languages before, so you have no problems with that anymore. Yeah, it really, I know it's not like a super difficult thing. It really is haven't used it quite frequently enough, and it just hasn't sunk into my brain yet, you know? So it's a bit of a practice thing, but writing it down and sorting through it, trying it out, you know, off stream and stuff, that helps. At least the theory goes. Eventually I'll be good at it. Okay, so I have this idea. First of all, I'm just wrapping these functions in a do all to prevent my REPL from like totally filling up with objects being printed when I run it, like when I run these functions. So give me a moment there. A door. What was I doing here? This needs work. And base, do. I think this will work. We'll find out. We shall see. What happens if I run this? Let's give it a width of 7, length of 5, and a height of 4. Okay, so it didn't work, and I could fix that. But that's the idea of what I'm going for. You run one function and it just spawns a house for you. It'd be kind of funny. Just writing things down helps memorization and learning. Yeah. This Minecraft CLJ API is pretty imperative. Could probably use a data-driven wrapper. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, I mean, this hasn't been developed in a while, I think. So the latest commit was 2019, but I think other like more substantial work, this is just sort of updating a few little things here and there. I think prior things were like 2015 and stuff like that, a lot older. But so just, it seems almost as if they got kind of the basics working, left it imperative because it's using it's just kind of wrapping the bucket server, and they never really did a functional approach over it. And today I am still just poking around. I'm not trying to fix everything myself, right? I'm just kind of learning it. But yeah, you're almost certainly right. It could use a wrapper that kind of brings it closer to the Clojure functional approach. It's probably something I'll think about and work on more, but I only do this Clojure thing, or pardon me, this Clojure Minecraft thing on Sundays so far, so it's not like I'm gonna make massive headway. One of the problems with Clojure, not enough good learning materials, so a lot of suboptimal code is floating around. Yeah. So I don't want to actually comment and say that this code is necessarily suboptimal. I mean, it looks like they've done a lot of work to get it operational. It's just not necessarily idiomatic in the Clojure sense, right? So not that it's bad per se, but that it doesn't really fit the paradigm of what Clojure goes for. Protocols are the right way to wrap Java APIs, for example. Yeah, it depends how you define good or bad. I think, well, totally, right? It's just, if there's a lot of imperative approach in a Clojure library, people are probably going to label it as bad, not necessarily because it was poorly written, but because it totally doesn't match what Clojure developers would come to expect, right? So in that sense, it would be bad, I guess. But let me see here. If I'm just poking around in the source for a minute, I don't think this here, I don't think they use protocols much for wrapping things. They kind of just have helper functions here and there, is what it looks like. Player. I've got a protocol here at least, so has player protocol. But like I said, this is like, I'm just learning this, right? I'm just poking around. I didn't make it. I didn't really study it much yet, so. A lot to learn yet, right? The Clojure philosophy generally lends itself to simplicity. This code looks like how a Java developer would write it. Lisp gives a lot of power to build proper abstractions, and when they're not used, yeah, they don't use it at all. Yeah. Well, so I don't have a strict cut out the sentence there. Oh yeah, in your other one there. Yeah, so you're totally right, but my goal for doing this is to just play around today, right? Like, it's not to critique the library, and eventually it might be a lot of fun to wrap it in a more idiomatic way. That might be a really cool project, but I can't promise that today. But yeah, you're totally right. If you're not going to use the power of a Lisp tool, then you kind of ask the question, well, why write it in Clojure at all, right? Okay, am I actually going to work on, oops, that's my bad. So, let's see. Seven by 9 by 5. There we go. Okay, so it's beautiful. It's great. Oh man, this is ridiculous. I'm just so like I'm still really happy that like that you can actually use a REPL to interact with the game directly. I'm still amazed by that. It's so cool. Let me erase this. There we go. Any reason I use do and list there? No. I do is just prog n, by the way. I'm not sure. I don't actually know what you mean by that, but to answer the question, do and list here, I was just doing whatever first came to my mind to get it to work. If it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna rewrite this anyway. I don't remember this. I wrote last week. I don't remember why I did that. And this is, I'm just refamiliarizing myself with what I've done to see what I can actually change. So it's implicit. I was assuming you know Emacs Lisp. Yeah, the do is redundant. And the for loop is lazy. Are for loops lazy? I guess they would be, wouldn't they? No, what am I doing? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, probably a do all. Right here, you mean? So just to step back for a moment, prog-n is an Emacs Lisp thing, I guess. My Emacs Lisp knowledge is almost purely based on looking at other people's like config files and just making mine work. So I've never done it. It's a bit shameful, but I don't know Emacs Lisp that well, and so the terminology, I always forget it still. Oh, an any Lisp dialect thing. I'm not a professional in many ways. There's a lot for me to learn. Except in Scheme where it's called begin. Why would it be begin in Scheme? Whatever. One minor problem I have with Lisps in general is it's a code block. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, like the curly braces in other languages. Fair point, that makes sense. A problem with Lisps I have is, this is just a quibble, is they all look so similar, right? So if you're new to any Lisps and you're just looking in at a program, it seems like it can be impossibly frustrating to know the differences from a Scheme to a common Lisp to Emacs Lisp when they all look, so similar, but there's little things here and there that you kind of feel silly for not knowing, you know? Anyway. Let's see here. Let me try to figure out my door function to see if I can make that work. We'll do that. We'll do stuff that's easy today. Block 0, 0, 0 wood places it right there. So if I do a block. Let's do 2 0 0. Okay, now if I do my door function that existed last time, what happens when I do 2 0 0? It exploded. 2 1 0, so move it up by 1. Yeah, okay. All right. It's quite amazing how easy it is to port programs between them. You can make Clojure behave like Common Lisp like Clojure with some tricks. You can make the code compatible directly. Yeah, so I'm totally in agreement there. It's super amazing how relatively easy it is to do that kind of stuff. And that's one reason I really do love Lisp. I'm more remembering when so I'm self-taught with Clojure and all programming. I didn't study programming or anything like that except on my own. So there's always a lot for me to learn. But when I was first learning Clojure and trying to figure out should I learn Common Lisp or this or that, man, it was weirdly confusing, right? What other languages do I use? Prior to Clojure, I used Python. So I studied mechanical engineering. So in school, we learned a little bit of C and C++ and MATLAB. Then out of school, I just started teaching myself Python because I didn't want to learn or do everything in Excel spreadsheets like a lot of other engineers do. And so Python, I do a lot of scripting with that. And then I moved on to Clojure because it seemed really, really cool. And so far, those are kind of the main ones. I don't want to claim high proficiency in other languages, even though I've played around with them a bit, you know? Like, I've done Scheme before, but yeah, just a little bit of dabbling, you know? Let's see. Yeah, a pretty good Python interop library. I think I was watching a talk about that recently. I don't remember what it's called, but I was pretty fascinated with that actually. Is it, I don't remember, does it go like by way of using a C, like does it use C to do that, or I don't know what I'm asking. It used some kind of weird way to go about it, right? Or am I wrong? I don't remember the details clearly. Okay, let's go. Do all. Let me try. So you mentioned this, let's make that consistent. Let's try that. Right, so if I do this, oops. Okay, so that still works, that's good. Now, if I run this, no, it doesn't work. Okay. Whoops. Door. That's what's going on here. Come on. Oh, of course. Wait, what? What have I done? There we go. Maybe. Let's find out. Yeah. Okay, let's fix it up. So Python exposes a C API, and then the library uses Java JNA to call into the C API. And then there's a lot of things making the APIs look good and have external object garbage collection work properly. Great to have maintained library for that, otherwise it's quite a bit of work to get operational. Yeah, so the JNI is like the way to get C foreign, like FF, to get C things to work in Java, right? I remember trying to get a CAD Java, or pardon me, it was a CAD kernel in C++ or in C, trying to get it to work in Java, and I had to use the JNA thing, and it was, I got it working, but it was convoluted. It was not the smoothest thing. For one client, I actually do Excel plugin development in Clojure, and for that I had to write my own wrapper to call into Windows COM through JNA and C. Oh man, that sounds pretty cool. Is that I've poked around with this library too. Doctor, is your thing this, or is it something different? Anyway. Windows COM through JNA and C. The libraries use Apache POI. Oh, okay, you have a more direct approach. Well, that's pretty cool. So you can do it interactively. That's really cool. So you're using, with that, react to a click on a column. Oh man, that's really cool. Are you using the Clojure, the .NET Clojure for that then, I would assume? Because that's really cool, actually. I would imagine a lot of, you could get quite a bit of cool stuff done for your clients doing that. It's still JVM Clojure, eh? Oh man. Oh, I guess, of course, because you said, that's silly of me to ask that, because you did say you're using JNA, which makes sense. I've never actually tried to install the .NET Clojure thing because it seemed like I would run into problems when I had that. When I was using, so I'm on my Mac here, but when I run Clojure on Windows, I usually stick to the Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL or whatever, and run Clojure through the Ubuntu install on there. Tools like nREPL are just broken sometimes. Yeah, it's a no-go. That's completely fair. It's kind of a big deal if nREPL's not working. That's silly, but it works. And that's no different than what I had before. I had a do and then the list, right? That should still work, should it not? Yeah. Well, whatever. That's not good enough. Let me actually write a note so that I remember what I'm doing with this anyway. A door is actually two different block types stacked. Also, you can't build a door on an air block. It just pops. It just, yeah, it won't let you do it. So build a block first, then place the other doors blocks above it. If you write a vector, it's not lazy, so you don't need the do at all. So I see your point here. If I do this, you mean, and then I don't need the nil either. I'm pretty sure that won't work because, oh, it does. Oh yeah, of course, right? Because I am actually calling the block function, and the way, thanks, that's a silly thing for me to not recognize. That makes complete sense because in the block call there, I actually am running the UI sync from the block, so it makes total sense that would happen. Thanks. Just not always the smartest bulb, but okay. Yeah, that is what I wanted, to do the nil after the vector. Yeah, so if I were to do it like this, do, and then the whole vector, right, and then the nil here, I do believe that's what you mean, and I do believe that might work. Yeah, there we go. Does it actually work? Yeah, perfect. Thank you for pointing out the thing that I probably should have figured out. Defen can have multiple forms. Man, I'm learning all kinds of silly things that I should know already. I'm a little embarrassed by that, but hey, I'll take it. Thank you. In which case, oh no, never mind. So that would also mean this can just look a little bit more like this. I don't need the print line because that's silly. Is that gonna work? Let's see if it's wrong. Nope, that's good, except for the door part obviously isn't working. So if I actually move this, oh, nope. Let's ignore that for now. There we go. So I don't mind making mistakes on stream, but I do wonder sometimes, like, those sorts of things, Defen can have multiple forms and all that kind of stuff. Like, if I'm just writing it and then refactoring my own stuff later, it's more likely that I would notice and figure those things out anyway. I'm not making excuses or anything. It just am realizing that programming, when other people can see you do it live, is like a different thing than doing it on your own, you know, in the comfort of your own brain and without sharing a screen. I'm totally cool with it though. It's beautiful. Not particularly. Okay, so now don't worry about it. We all make those mistakes. Streaming is like pair programming. It's great for learning. Yeah. So I have a few different reasons why I've been wanting and have been streaming more and more. In general, it's actually a lot of fun for me. I really do like it. But forcing me to program more consistently is an important thing. Forcing me to show my work a little more is also nice. To have a schedule around things just helps me get more into the groove of things. And yeah, like you're saying, doing it in public kind of lets other people point out, hey, you could do this, you could do that, all these little things, you know? So it is absolutely great for learning. So that's another strong reason that I'm really enjoying it. And of course, by the way, thanks for tuning in. I don't think I said that earlier. I do appreciate that. It's really nice. This door thing is weirdly annoying, and I don't want to think about it right now. So instead, what I want to try and do, one flaw with the base thing that I've got here, it only, like, it always builds exactly in the same orientation. There's no, I kind of want to like build it wherever my cursor is looking in the game world. So what I think might make sense is to make another, if I revisit the block function here, I have I wonder if I can do block at cursor or something like that. And then all you would need is the material, I believe. So then the thing I need is, how would I get the cursor, or like the position of where I'm looking at? And I do believe there's, I was looking at this a little earlier here. There's stuff like get eye location and get target block. I think get target block and get target block exact. I think that's what I'm looking for. So let's see if I can make that useful in some way. Okay, so let's run it in the REPL here. Let's do get target block of player nullable nil, and let's do a max distance of 3. Okay, that does return something there. Can I do get x of that? Will that give me a value? Sweet. Okay, so that let's see if I can do, let's just do the obvious thing. Oh wait, let me do it this way here. Target block. So I don't pass player into these blocks, so for now I'll keep that as a fine thing to do. You may be able to just turn it into a bean with the bean function. So you can actually see the members of the object. It breaks on some recursive APIs though. Bean. It's not literally just bean, is it? Oh, wow. That's okay. Bean in Clojure. This is useful. Thank you so much. I didn't know about that at all. So bean, and then rough example here. Like that. Oh, did I break it? Bean.get location player. Something like that. In REPL lets you see the members of objects. That is very helpful. Thank you so much. It breaks on some recursive APIs. There are libraries that handle recursive stuff too and make it more lazy, but it's working out of the box here. Yes, it is, more or less anyway. It's not too hard to wrap them properly. Well, so it's not something I've ever done myself, so this is all new to me. So I appreciate the help with that. It's really cool. Don't want to distract though. Oh, hey, don't worry about distractions. It's totally my own decision, and this is literally the least impactful work I could be doing right now. It's just casual Sunday, you know? Casual Sunday. So if let's see here. Can I just do like, so the bean, can I do this then on that? Like pull it out like a key? Is it like a map? Yeah. Pretty much. Oop. Okay, well let me try that here. Target block stuff. Let's wrap it in a bean and just have fun with that. Get target block of the player. Oh, I suppose I could even do a bean on the whoop. Entity not leashed. Well, it's not working perfectly for me right now. I don't know what that means yet. Look up later. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So it might be a little risky to assume I can use the bean function for everything, but just so that I actually know that it can be used, I'm going to keep using it here because this is all experimental stuff anyway. So get target block player. I already forget what I wrote. Nil. There we go. Player nil, and then the max distance 3 meters seems fine, I guess. So that's the target there. One little problem here is I don't necessarily have enough screen real estate for all the stuff I want on the screen at once. Target. I don't really need to make it explicit then, maybe. Let's do this. Okay, so block at cursor would just be basically oh, let me do this here. I get material. I do still want the player's location, I suppose. No. Well, let's just do the obvious thing and fix it up later. Get location of the player, and then the target is that. Yeah, it's not that clean. But we'll just start there, make sure it works. Set x is x of target. YZ, YZ, there, and then UI synchronize at CLJ Minecraft core, CLJ plugin, and pass it the function. There we go. Get block L, set data, okay. Set type, get item type of M, set data, get data of M. Let's see if that is actually going to work. Block at cursor. Maybe I missed something obvious, but I'll find out in a minute. Wool. There we go. Wow, I'm building in a way less efficient manner than just playing the game. It's great. Oh, okay. So if I'm looking right at a block and I run this, it just replaces the block. That's pretty cool. That does make sense. It doesn't build on top of it because I'm not changing. I'm not giving it any logic for building if a thing already exists there. So that makes sense. Let's change it back to glass. I could also do. Let's see here. Just want to check that this still works. It does. So it'd be cool to build a little function that, so like with wool and stuff, it'd be fun to make a little conversion table, right? Where you've got, let's say, some subset of the colors that map to different material types that are close to that color, and then you feed in like a PNG image to the function and it builds that PNG into your world for like pixel art and stuff. That'd be fun. Let me make a little note there. pixel art helper, make a function that reads in a PNG pixel art file and builds it into the world. That'd be fun. Save that. I think you can also bind keyboard keys in Minecraft plugins, or make a tool item so you can trigger the actual creation in the game. Yeah, I'm fairly certain you're right about that, and that would be obviously the sensible way to do it, right? Once you have some really nice functionality that you have tested in the REPL and stuff, to have it in game where you could press a key, that's a pretty good idea. Actually, while I'm on that, I wonder if let's see, am I in the right thing here? Yeah, source. I wonder if there's like an events thing. Okay, org bucket events. I wonder if there's like events. Key press or something like that. We'll just search. This is boring on stream. I'll do it later. Events. So let's make a little note here. So this event will work. So if I break blocks now, that runs that function that prints to the in-game console or whatever that's called. So that's like an example of how to register an event. Key presses. Need to read documentation about registering functions to key presses. Then I should be able to bind actions in game to my functions. There we go. Pixel art would be a fun one. And now I've got block at cursor. So I could also do, I realize block at cursor is basically block. Let me make a little defin target to vector Do I want to do that? Player, Well, let's go ahead and do that. So all I need to do is bean.get target block of the player entity, because you could technically pass it like another player entity or like an NPC entity and build wherever they're looking, kind of thing. Apparently you cannot do it for arbitrary keys with the server-side API, but you can use the player events / item use event. Oh, okay. So something like, so I was actually thinking about this before I started a stream. It might be like you could make oh man, the UI is pretty small. Oh well. Flint steel, you could have it like you use flint steel on a certain kind of block, and then it runs whatever function you want. So you could like use different colors wool to specify different functions and just do it that way. Or you could register different events and all that kind of stuff, make it like a proper plugin and mod and whatnot. Maybe. Those are all problems to solve another day. As it is, I have to go to the washroom for a minute, so I will in fact be right back. I won't be long. Just gotta... All right, back in business. So I'm only gonna go for another 45 minutes at most today. I have Father's Day stuff to get to later, so I can't sit and play Minecraft all day, which is totally fine. I do want to see if I can actually achieve a little more than just one function today. Maybe. So if I try to remember what I was working on just a minute ago. So you pass it an entity, target to vector. Or maybe I should just call it target coordinates. That's maybe confusing. Cursor coordinates. In these functions, I am considering the cursor to be the crosshairs in the player's view. If a block has the black outline around it, that is the target block at which the cursor is pointed. Sure, that makes sense. So, cursor coordinates. For now, I guess that name makes enough sense that I can go ahead and make it. So get target block entity nil, and the distance, should it be 3 or should it be, let's see here. So if I'm standing on a block, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 looks kind of like the distance. Yeah, approximately. Sure, we'll go with that. Get target block entity let sure, that's fine. Cursor is the bean thing of that, and then I just want to return x y of the cursor select keys function. Oh, what? This doesn't have oh, something's wrong with my REPL there. Select keys x, y, bean, get target block player nil 5. Is that right? In the wrong namespace. Other way around. Oh. There we go. Hey, thanks. And then if I would just do vals of that, yeah, that would make that. Okay. I don't need to do just the vals there. Select keys from cursor x, y, z. So cursor chords of player Those are now different. Perfect. Oops. That's not what I need there. Okay. So you could do like block, or you could do apply block to cursor coordinates of player. There we go, of player, and then you just give it wool 10. Is that a thing? Come on. Don't have enough room in my REPL. Oh, of course that's wrong. That's not going to be right. I would have to do concatenate those, right? Get there in a moment. Lumi, I've actually turned links off, at least for the time being. But there's an official Clojure org beans library or something like that. Get rid of set x, set y, set z. Do you know what the name of the Clojure beans library, I guess, if I could spell that properly even? Oh, it's a read-only implementation of abstraction. So there's some other library, I guess, that will do the setting and all of that. Yeah, I can't. I have links off right now, but it's censoring the Clojure slash. It's censoring that for some reason. I don't know why. Huh. Yeah, I have no idea why it's doing that. I wonder if I could see it like with my mod. Sorry, I'm still a little new to Twitch as well, for that matter, so there's just so many things to learn all the time. Am I on Discord or somewhere else? No, not yet. So this entire endeavor for me is new in so many ways. I haven't set up a Discord or anything like that. I didn't know if I should or when I should. Or did you just mean like to send a private message or whatever? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. So I'm getting notifications in here. The tried to PM me. Yeah. I see that now. So I'm not streaming from I'm not running my OBS from the same computer that I'm doing my dev on, and I'm like, it's like dedicated to OBS right now. So notifications and stuff coming in is, it works, but it's just taking its sweet little time. But yeah, I have the PMs there. Java.data. I wonder why that would be censored in the chat. Thanks for that, by the way. I'm using the wrong keyboard. Oh, what a day. What a day. Come on, my dear old computer, you can do it. Oh, that's funny. There we go. Hey Lumi, thanks for the help, by the way. It's usually not in most channels, so you want to find the settings eventually. Hey YG Dev, how's it going? You just got Minecraft Pocket today? I don't actually know, or is Minecraft Pocket on mobile? Is that what that is? Hey Lumi, I didn't quite understand what you mean there. It's not in most channels. I'm a little, I just didn't quite understand that. But thanks for your help, by the way. I do appreciate that. Let me put a little note in here. Check out Clojure/java.data. Lumi points out that this can be useful for get set with Java objects. There we go. Hey YG Dev, I haven't set up a bot yet for all that stuff, and I'm still quite new to, or like this whole endeavor of mine is new, so I do have a GitHub, but there's not much to see on there yet. And in the coming weeks, I'll be adding more of that functionality to it, to my channel and everything like that. So, sorry about that. Nothing to see yet, or not much to see yet, I guess you could say. GH username. I changed it recently. Adam-James, I do believe. Adam-James-V right there. So it exists. See, I even have, I will have a GitHub website. It's just a placeholder index file right now. I've got some projects that I had worked on a while ago, and they're a little old, but there we go. That's me, Adam-James. So honestly, feel free to check it out, but like seriously, this is some older stuff, and like I said, a lot of this is all new for me, so. Oh, links and stuff. Yeah, 15. Hey YG Dev, I have disabled sharing links. I might turn it on again at some point. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. But oh, so Lumi, I understand what you mean now. So I actually have. Thanks for the follow, YG Dev. Oh, and Lumi, you followed a while ago as well. Thanks for that. Yeah, so I've disabled links. You can't post them right now. That was an intentional choice. I might turn it off. I don't know. I'll have to see. But yeah, when it comes to subscribers and stuff, that's also the case that I do need to I need to build up a little bit of a base before I can do that stuff too. So you guys are witnessing the very early beginnings of this kind of thing. So I must apologize for the noobishness of it all, but thank you for sticking around. So YGDev, you're a JavaScript developer. Do you do like, what kind of stuff do you do with it mostly? So cursor coordinates. Let's see here. If I change block to have the shape like this, X, Y, Z, then I can do block, or I could do apply block to conj vals of cursor coordinates and wool 9. Is that gonna work? We shall find out. No. Let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, cursor coordinates of what, my friend? Of the player, of course. And of course, conj, I always forget, because conj, I never remember if it's at the front or the back. YGDev, you mostly doing React? So I assume you're doing like web apps and stuff with React? Lumi was saying earlier that he's doing he's using React Native a little bit to make I believe mobile apps and stuff, right? Probably want keys XYZ instead. In this case, I'm just trying to bash together the proper. So no, I actually do want vals of cursor coordinates. I can explain what I mean by that in just a moment. Well, here, so, right, cursor coordinates, whether for right or wrong, it returns this map, right? But here, block, just because I'm lazy and I'm not changing it over yet, I'm not thinking about the architecture of this, I'm just making it work at the moment. It takes a vector of values and then the material. So to properly format the shape of data that I would pass into block, I just need the values from the cursor coordinates instead. So what I'm trying to do is conj things in the right order, which I always forget. There we go. Wool 9. Hey? Ugh. All right. Trying to type too quickly here. Conj wool 9 and the vals of cursor coordinates of the player. So that is wrong. No, that's still wrong too. Oh boy. Conj. There, that'll be no. I'm just not thinking. I'm just doing them all wrong right now. The problem there, a little bit. Is that even the smart way to do it? Doc conj in the REPL. Look up docs with CC, CD, CD. Let's see here. Oh wait, I did it. Oh, I see. Something went wrong there. But I know you can do clojure.repl/doc and then the function like that. What I mean with like conj has different, I think like if you do a list, right, 1, 2, 3, and you conj something onto the list, right, it puts that on the front of the list. But if you do it with a vector, I'm pretty sure it's different, right? I think it puts it on the end. So that's what I mean. I just always forget if it puts it on the front of a list or the back. I always mix those up. Lists go left. That's probably a good mnemonic device. I'm gonna lists conj left. There we go. Don't use conj for lists, use cons instead. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Cons list 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have to do it that way? Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense to my brain. Okay, note to self. Here, actually. Cons, conj, concat, etc. in Clojure. Memorize these things. I always mix up conj, cons, concat, etc. And vectors and lists, how they behave differently. Write a note to remember these better. There we go. Oh boy, my head's going all over the place. Apologies for that. Singly linked list is like a stack data structure. If you want to append to the list, you just don't want a list. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. If you want to append to the list, you just don't want a list. Right, and so that reasoning is exactly why vector works differently with, like, operates differently with conj, because the semantics of vectors and lists are intentionally quite distinct in Clojure, if I'm understanding you correctly. Right, because that is related to, or in the same reasoning line as, lists are lazy sequences, but if you put something into a vector, it's not lazy anymore. Let's see here. Good. Is there anything useful I can still do today? That is my question. I'm gonna abandon trying to mess with that because I'm being silly. Traditionally, Lisps didn't have Clojure vectors or maps at all. It's really a data structure you rarely want to use. The lazy list, though, the one returned by most sequence functions, like map or for, is really useful. Yeah, I love lazy sequences. Like, the simplest example that comes to mind is something like this: take 10 of repeat or of range, I think, right? Yeah, like that's amazing and really clever that you can like, it's an infinite sequence and you'd never have to worry about it. It's really useful stuff. That's obviously a contrived and useful example, but every once in a while I find it really helpful. It's good stuff. Is there a let's do bean, come on, player, is that, nope, oh right, I've tried that before. Get location of player, bean of that. Wait, what? Oh, it's just not printing nicely. Let's do keys of bean of get location of player. For key and keys. Print line key. No. Oh, pff. Of course, that's not gonna do. What am I doing? This is silly. For key in this thing. Print line key. There. It's beautiful. Okay. Yaw and pitch. So I went on a tangent in my own mind. So I have a preliminary placement, so you can place a block at a cursor. But what I want to be able to do is run a function that builds any number of things at the cursor position at the proper orientation that the player is facing, right? So it could be north, east, south, or west. So I'm just wondering if there's stuff in the data that can help me find the orientation, and there is. You want to do seek and not a for there, by the way? Oh, in my little print line thing here? Nope, not that one. In the one that actually worked. Oh, yeah. The only difference in this case is, yeah, it would return nils on all the fours, right? But a do seek just does the side effecting thing. Yeah, fair point. Do seek and for. The difference is laziness. Right. Yeah, because the for loop, it realizes every thing, and since it's print line, it returns a nil, but it's doing it all. But do seek, yeah. Do seek. But the difference is laziness. For, yeah, there, it's a good start. Okay, so let's do player bean of, oh wait, no, let's not do that. Let me just do okay, def player location. There. So now I can do yaw, which won't change, right? Because I would have to redefine PL, but for looking at the data, that'll be okay for now. So there's yaw, and there's pitch, player location 9. Oh, this is also the where am I looking here? Facing east, facing south. So there's a facing, I'm just looking right here. I wonder if that's, if I can get that directly instead of having to calculate it myself. Let's try. Facing. No. Orientation. Oh, axis? No. Nah. Okay, whatever. That's not gonna work. Yeah. I forget what pitch and yaw are again. Let's just do okay. Dot get. Okay, let's do pitch of get location of player. Oop. Wait, is it like this? Pitch. Ugh, come on. Alright, it's almost time for me to go. I'm making silly mistakes. Okay, let's just do it like this. Bean of get location of player. Right, so that's the pitch, and then if I just go horizontally, does the pitch change? north, east, north, west. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So then if I do yaw, yeah, yeehaw. There is location, get direction. Oh, that's an object still too, eh? Oh, jeez. Screen real estate. I need more of it. Block X, block Y, block Z. Okay, so if I'm facing right now south towards positive Z, right? So Z is basically 1 here. Now I'm facing north towards negative Z. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. Let's see here. Player and utilities. Compass direction. Player. Let D be the bean of dot get direction of get location of the player, right? Seems fine. And then cond. No, I don't like that. There's a smarter way to do that. Straight up use the yaw. Yeah, so so thanks for pointing out the get direction thing here, but I was looking at the yaw earlier as well. It does kind of look like you just set yaw of 0 is south, right? Fully north is 180. 90 is west, and then negative 90 is east. So that should work just as well. I guess so, eh? It should be the angle, yeah. So this will be the last thing I finish up, and then I do gotta get going soon. Haven't really done much. I've learned more than I've produced, and I'm okay with that. So I was in, sorry, let me just get the yaw player here. Oh, bean. Does that match? It does. So that's east. Yeah, so north is between negative 135 and then it would be 135 positive, right? Yeah. Let yaw be yaw of this. Make sure I've got the right thing here. Yaw. Cond. Let's just hard code the changeover values because I'm lazy for that right now. So when yaw is greater than something, some value, and less than some other value, then north right, north east south west west. So greater than, okay, so let's do north facing north. Is this the smartest approach? Definitely not. Is it the one that I'm thinking of right now? Absolutely. Okay, so oh, that also isn't going to work, right? Because so it's greater than 135 and less than or less than negative 135. Does that make any sense? Greater than 135 or less than negative 135. East negative 45 and so it's between negative 135 and negative 45. I'm not thinking at all right now. This should be so easy and my brain is just completely off at the moment. So unfortunately, that is probably a good time for me to call it quits for the day. Let me write a little note to myself so that I don't do this the silly way in the future. So let me just write here, you can discern compass direction from the yaw value from the player's location. North is between 135 degrees and negative 135 degrees. Exact north is negative 180 degrees. East is between negative 135 degrees and negative 45 degrees. Exact east is negative 90 degrees. South is between negative 45 and positive 45, right? Exact south is, let's just make sure that's actually correct here, is 0 on the yaw, right? 0. Yeah. South is 0 degrees. Northeast, south, west is between 45 and 135 degrees. And then exact west is 90 degrees. I should figure out the concise, let's see here. Is there some simple trig function that can quickly tell me what quadrant I am in or something? Using cond seems incorrect. Okay, but for right now that'll definitely be good enough. Not much was done by way of building today, but nevertheless I've learned a little bit with Lumi, with your help, if you're still watching. I really do appreciate that a lot. I have some more notes here that I can turn, put into my own little blog. I have some work to do related to my GitHub and linking that into here. So, you know, doesn't necessarily seem like it, but for me this was nevertheless what I would call a successful day so far. And I do actually have to get going anyway, so thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate that. I'm going to keep this up. On the weekdays I don't do Minecraft, but I am working on making a library in Clojure, so you're welcome to tune in during the week or watch some VODs or whatever. For the month of June, this is a thing I do every single day. After the month of June, I will be adjusting that schedule because I want to use downtime to plan my streams even better so that I'm not running into problems nearly as much on stream, so that I can explain and just get the work done in a more entertaining and useful manner. But I'm babbling on about the future. All I have to say is I hope everyone has a good day today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get going, and I will be back again with some Clojure work tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.